Okay, so I'm going to go just right from the very beginning, opening the hood and the whole bit. So go around and flip open the hood. Grab your latch under the hood. Flip it open. Latch in place. The basics, right? Now you need to look underneath the air filter, which the air filter is located right next to the air filter, which I did actually purchase a new air filter from Napa. You can purchase it wherever you want, but Napa's actually just where I got it just because it was the closest store for me. It's about 15 bucks, not too bad. So the model I got, it's like the numbers on the top there, 26406. I'm sure they can get it for you there, but that's the air filter for it. Might as well replace it while I'm at it. So I'm just going to have the camera just be steady here while I do my work. And let's adjust it over here. I have a table set up over there too, if you notice, right over here. Very useful to have because it's a lot of stuff to have balanced on your car. So probably have a little table set up. It's probably kind of handy to have all your tools over there. So here we go. Here it is. Alright, so to get this off is a clip on the very top. It's pretty easy. Just flip the clip, unlatches it. I have my car all turned off too. Good idea to have it turned off while you do this. And you just pull it back and it actually separates the clip from it. And it actually latches in at the bottom. There's some metal clips to hold the clip in. You don't do anything with them, you just push down to actually come loose. And what we need to do is this part right here is actually the part that slides out this way. This, I didn't actually latch on, I actually opened this up once before. This would normally be hooked right on here. So you just pull it and it's just a pressure clip and it just unclips right there. And you just pull this direction and it should come loose. It's got adjusters here so it should be able to actually angle it differently. You just gotta pull it a little bit. And you fill it enough, it should come loose. This one I usually just slide over this direction. And there you go. And if you're ever changing your air filter, I mean, here's your tutorial for air filter. This is my air filter right here. I just pull it right out. And there's my air filter. If you look at it, it is a little bit dirty. It's not all that bad, but not exactly the cleanest of things right now. So I'm going to actually just go ahead and just replace this. It's only 15 bucks, so I might as well do it all in the same process. So air filter's going to be replaced. Let's put that over here. And the next part, this part right here, is actually attached to a couple places. So there's some screws down in there, or some bolts that is, some bolts you have to actually undo. Using a ratchet is easy with an extender. And for that I got my ratchet over here. And I got my parts. If I remember right, it was actually a 1/2 inch thing there. Let me find my 1/2 inch socket. I think it was 1/2 inch. If not, obviously, you know, just kind of play around with it a little bit until you find the right one. And the extender is really handy, so doing one of these makes it a lot easier. You can get these just about anywhere. And hook it on. And yeah, I was right. So it's 1/2 inch. This little doohickey, the actual the clamp that actually clamps all together to undo the original thing. It's easy if you actually latch it back on the second part, because otherwise it gets kind of in your way. So just loosen that up. All the bolts should come undone, but for me, actually, one bolt is actually rusted in place and it won't come undone no matter what I do. So I can just kind of work around that one. As long as my other two get undone, should be a total of 3 of them. And so get that one done. Be extra careful, don't actually allow us to drop down inside your car. This area is fairly accessible to get if it does drop in, because I've had it happen, but it's not very desirable. And if you get those undone, you should just kind of lift up and then it'll come out the same direction, out this way. because it actually has a latch down in this area where it hooks in for getting airflow. You just want to make sure, pull it this way and it'll come out from the side. So yeah, you just kind of pull this on this. Be careful with this cord, obviously don't break that at all. And if you pull at this, it's a little bit difficult to pull out, but it should just kind of come right out. Unless, am I missing a screw? Now, oh, I forgot. When you do it, you have to actually pull it up and out, because it actually has a, like I said, it comes from the bottom and from the side. So you have to get the bottom one undone first as a pipe hooking up to some sort of an air filtration thing down there too. And then you can pull it out from the side. And then, yeah, then it's a lot easier. And that should just kind of pop out. Careful of your wires right here, obviously you don't want to. So this I just set over to the side a little bit. This is a fairly bendable cord. Be careful with that. Make sure it's not brittle and going to break, but stay off to your side. And then now we actually have the actual CCRM. So the actual CCRM is, let me adjust the camera a little bit. So we've got the CCRM, the constant control relay module, is right down in there. So see this little jumble of cords and things in this little box? That is the CCRM. So the last thing we actually need to take out. I've actually removed this once, so I actually did a tutorial online how to remove that a little bit. Not too hard. There's just some bolts around there. You just need to, once again, just undo just like before. And so I'll grab that. I don't remember the exact size for that, so let me fiddle around a little bit. But it's a lot smaller one. It's actually really small adapter in there. For mine, one of my bolts actually broke, so I actually have I have not only the small adapter, but I also have just a normal Phillips head screw that kind of jimmy rig to hold it all together in there. I think the size is going to be 7/32, but let me first try it out and we'll see what it's like. Yeah, 7/32 is the size of this bolt here. Good idea to get some oil of some sort. I use some WD-40. And then I got my Phillips screwdriver over here. Somewhere in here. There we go. Standard Phillips screwdriver. Everybody else probably won't have a Phillips screwdriver because they probably don't have a jimmy rig deal, but I do. So for me, I do a Phillips screwdriver. I don't know if you should, just for basic extra precaution, you could really disconnect the battery if you really wanted to, if you want to do it absolutely correctly. I've done this before and nothing went wrong, so it should be okay, but if you just want to make sure and have the extra precaution, you can go ahead and disconnect the battery. So here's my CCRM, came loose there. I actually, on the underside, you see this? It's actually got that car paint on it because it's kind of rusted, so I scraped off some of the rust last time I was at this, and actually just a car paint on it to try and seal it. Don't know if it does any good, but I just tried it anyway. So to get into this, if you've never gotten into this box before, there's 4 areas you actually need to get a drill and drill it out. Now be really careful, don't break your PCB board inside this. That's your computer chip. You just drill right in here, 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 and here. So I already did that, so for me, I just need to just unscrew it. Double check online, but it might actually be only the 2 corners. It might not be all 4. I don't remember exactly how I did it, but fill it around with a little bit. I think it was all 4 corners. And when I did this before, it was actually just doing the research, just looking at this. I didn't actually do any actual maintenance on this yet. So the inside should look the exact same as everybody else's. Obviously try not to have this bump into anything else and create any shorts, so it's a good idea to not break your stuff while you're at this. And this one is a little difficult for me to get, so just give me a second here. Okay. And make sure you set all your tools, like, preferably off to the side or somewhere where you know they won't slip and make shorts or get lost inside your engine. Not a good idea. Okay, now next we need to, at the very top, there's another bolt you have to actually undo. I don't know if it's the same size. I think it was slightly smaller if I remember right. Yeah, it's a different size for that one. The size is this size. It is 3/16. And the exact same as the last one, just counterclockwise. And that will actually dismantle this from the actual CCRM. So you can actually open it up and access it a lot easier. And since I'm doing my soldering, I can't do soldering when it's actually in the engine like this, because I really don't want to short my engine out, and I'm not going to do it right here for the soldering. I'm going to do it over on the table probably. For soldering, if you're doing this in the winter at all, something I noticed for soldering at winter, I have a 650-degree soldering iron, but if you do this in the winter, because it's already really cold out, depending on where you live, the soldering iron is going to be a lot warmer because it's going to cool off the solder a lot faster. So it's best to do it outside because you do have some fumes coming off it. It's not bad, but a little bit. For electronics, you're going to want to use the rosin core within the solder because it can make it a lot easier. I'll explain more in depth on that when I do the soldering, but just keep that in mind. So here's my actual CCRM. If I just pull on the upper section of it, the actual casing comes right off, and you see the inside of it. Set the case somewhere else. And now we actually have the thing at fault. Let me see if I can get this angle correctly so we can see this. What do we got? We gotta zoom out a little bit. Okay, so here's the CCRM. So I don't know all these components, what they all do, but some of these larger ones, will actually do your fuel injection. I think there's some internal electrical equipment, and a couple other little things. The one we're actually worrying about is the WAC module, which is the smaller of the modules, so it's a lot easier to find for you. So you just look around and you'll see that module right there. Now for me, I already actually, like I said, I actually drilled out the bottom, so you can see I have my Phillips heads. And I have some risers on here to hold this all back together. So for me, I just have to unscrew that with my Phillips screwdriver again, which let me just do that. But for you, originally it didn't actually have anything there. It was just all held together. Actually, I need a smaller Phillips screwdriver. It was actually all held together just from like a metal bracket. It wasn't actually any screws, so when I actually drilled it out, I actually lost that bracket. So you just have to have some bolts with some nuts on the end and reapply it, which isn't too hard to do. You just have to make sure you have that available. And you gotta undo that. And remove this doohickey. One thing you should be aware of when you're actually doing this, you're going to get stuff all over your hands. Your hands will get kind of nasty, so don't touch the electronics in there too much because you don't want to have any electronics overheating from like really hot oil or conducting. So we got this one undone. This one I actually have a plastic riser on it to try and reduce conductivity on the PCB board. The PCB is actually just that. The green itself is the PCB. And so I'm just trying to prevent conductivity on that. On this one I can actually just see where the lines are because it's a basic PCB. So on this one I know that there is no electrical components right near that area, but it's always a good idea just to have the extra plastic in there. So just set that aside there. And now if I just pull off the backing, the whole thing will come right off because I unscrewed that stuff. Or for you, just drilling it out would do it. And now I can actually look at the thing that's at fault. So when you look on the back of this, well, actually looking on the front, you'll see all the same components we looked at before. And this is my WAC relay, or WAC module, I forgot. I think it's called a WAC relay. And that is actually what's at fault. So I need to flip it upside down and look it over. And on mine I can see kind of a charred look right there. Doesn't look so good to me. I'm guessing that is meaning it is dead. So I'm hoping that when I replace it, I can actually have it still work again. So what I get to do is I get to, on the underside with my soldering iron, I've actually got some glue type of things on top of this. So I'm going to have to actually scrape away the glue on it, apply heat to these 5 pins, avoiding these other pins, and that all come loose and I can get it all together. So what I'm probably have to do is take this all inside,